Okay, it's going to be pipes, pedals and pints. Welcome to the Tainted Tavern Touring Club.
Welcome to the Tainted Tavern. Come sit inside with me.
Okay, now I want to show you something now because this is going to become a new feature of the Tainted Tavern. As I said at the intro, there's going to be a series of videos called Pipes, Pedals and Pints, in which I'll tour the Welsh countryside on my e-bike, and then do videos from out-of-the-way country pubs, sitting down outside a pub, enjoying a pint, enjoying a pipe. I think it could be an interesting segment for this channel that I hope many of you will enjoy. But I just want to show you the bike. There's a little bit of a story to this bike. Now, here we have my bike. This is a Carrera Crossfire E Mark II, so it's an electric bike that's pedal assist, so you still got a pedal. It's not all laziness. I purchased this about 5 years ago, and I used it quite regularly for about 6 months, 7 months. Then I got a different job and the hours were horrendous, so this went into storage until yesterday. I got it out yesterday. So this has been in storage in a spare bedroom. I didn't leave it out in the shed because the battery and all the electrics, I didn't. So anyway, I brought it down last night. It'd been standing for 4.5 years. So I had to put air in the tyres. I had to check the brakes. I had to oil the chain, and I had to make sure the battery was still good to go. And it is. The battery's fine. I've got it up to 100% charge. I've taken it on a little spin around the block to see it's all working, and it's lovely. But this is the Tainted Tavern, and we don't do things by half here. So let me show you what I've got in mind for this bike, because this bike is going to represent the spirit and the atmosphere of the Tainted Tavern. So I'm going to very heavily customize this bike and turn it into a retro e-bike. It will be as if a Victorian gentleman has suddenly discovered an electric battery. So let me show you what I've got in mind.
Okay, well, this is the Tainted Tavern, and the Tainted Tavern has an image to keep, because we have put our style out there. There will be no lycra, no silly helmets to make you look like a tit. Instead, our electric e-bike, the Tainted Tavern Explorer, will be customised to look retro, like something an Edwardian gentleman would ride. So imagine an Edwardian gentleman suddenly discovering a battery pack and sticking it on his bike. That's the vibe we're going for. And as you can see from this imagination here, this is my actual bike. I've then used AI technology to add the little accessories that I'm going to add to this bike. So the first thing to notice are the brown leather saddlebags with brass buckles, both at the back, over the back, on the pannier, and also towards the handlebars. That, I think, is a really nice touch. Then looking up onto the handlebars themselves, into the middle, you've got a brass bell which looks perfectly retro. There are two new handlebar handles on there, and these have got a vintage vibe about them as well, which I like because that's the type of guy I am. The front and back of the lights on the bike are also vintage lights, which I found on Amazon, and they're really cheap. But of course, the centerpiece is the Brooks style saddle in the middle, and the leather covering that my wife has sewn together on the sewing machine for the battery compartment. So this is the Tainted Tavern Explorer, and pretty soon I'll be using this bike to give you some great videos where I'll travel the countryside and find remote out of the way pubs, sit down, have a pipe and a pint and have a chat. And I'm just going to show you a quick map here with an animation on it, and this is the first journey I took on the Tainted Tavern Explorer since reviving it, since making sure the battery was alright, checking the tyres. And here is my little journey I took in the map here. It was only 4.5 miles, but that's not bad for a 60-year-old who hasn't cycled for a great many years. Hashtag still sexy at 60.
Now, of course, I will be wearing sensible clothing on my cycle rides. And as I showed you, the saddlebags I'm going to add and things. So I'll have my camera with me. I'll have all my equipment with me. I'll have a bottle of water here, but that'll be mostly for show, because in the saddlebag I'm going to fit on the front here, I'll have a nice little hip flask. So sometimes I'll be able to pull over in a nice country lane, find myself a rock to sit down on, and have a sip of quality whiskey. You see it's the gentlemanly way to go. And also, I will be wearing sensible clothing, of course, but I won't be wearing an helmet. I'm not wearing one of those bike helmets. I'd rather get a fractured skull than look like a tit, and I promise you there's no lycra going on these buns. I won't be wearing lycra. I refuse to look like a middle-aged out-of-work superhero, so I'll be wearing sensible clothes, good trainers, good jeans, a nice jacket depending on what the weather's like, and my trusty old baseball hat or something similar. I may even have a pair of shades so I look a bit enigmatic coming down the road. But anyway, it won't be long and I'll get this bike all customised and launch the first of the Tainted Tavern Pipes, Pedals and Pints. Or Pipes, Pedals and Pints tour. It's not Tour de France. I won't be trying to cut seconds off my journey. This will not be Tour de France. It'll be more like Tour de Whiskey Bars, Tour de Pubs. But anyway, come back to the Tainted Tavern. Don't forget to give this video a like, a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and please subscribe if you haven't done so already, and prepare yourself for the journey of a lifetime, for we are going on the Tainted Tavern Tour de Whiskey Bars. Thanks for watching.
Please come back soon.